Welcome to Wealth Coffee Chats, folks, for your daily live updates. Get the most out of today's episode by participating in the chat. Make sure you ask some questions, be part of the conversation, have a bit of fun, grab a coffee or a tea, take some notes, and get ready to start your day, folks. Quick few housekeeping rules, though. No spamming, no advertising or self-promotion in the chat. That's not on. Be kind and respectful to everyone when participating. And most of all, have a good time. Real estate investing can be your biggest asset. It also can be your most expensive asset when it comes to getting it right or getting it wrong, folks. It can be time-consuming, stressful, and that's why here at Positive, we have what's called a 6-star team, a full-service team that provides integrated wealth and property investing solutions and services simply designed to help you progress towards your goal of passive income through your property portfolio, folks. Make sure you check out our other podcasts on the Positive Mentor Network. Not only is there Wealth Coffee Chats, there's the Urban Property Investor. Drops every Wednesday with straight talking investing strategies and lessons with Sam Saggers. Property Investor Tales. This is where our clients, you guys, share real life stories from property investing, hosted by some of our advisors and strategists. And that's done every fortnight, dropping every Monday. Wealth, Wine and Wisdom, folks, that debriefs the week that was in the world of finance and property, hosted by yours truly, Jason Witten and Andy Fenton on Fridays. Hey, good morning, folks.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Wealth Coffee Chat.
Hope you're well, folks, wherever you are.
There it is, team. Morning. Morning, wherever you're tuning in from today.
Early bird gets the worm, they say. Here at Positive, we offer a 6-star team. It's a team that help you at every stage of your wealth creation journey.
There it is, morning, team. Happy Wednesday. I'll get the music off. I was bopping away to it in the background. Morning, Wednesday, 21st of May. Wealth Coffee Chats. Welcome back to another edition. Today is property management. We're taking over 8:10 every day, Monday to Friday, 6-star team jump on. I do have a guest along today, backed by popular demand. We'll introduce that person in a moment. But if you haven't been here before, team, welcome along. Like I say, Wealth Coffee Chats. Schost is my name. I represent the property management crew, part of that collective 6-star team that you all know well, I'm sure, throughout the journey. Hey, if you're here, give us a bit of a shout out in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from this morning. Hope you got your coffee. I don't have mine today, team, just a bowl of water, but I'll tell you what, I'll be going to get one very soon. Kevin's online. G'day, Kevin. Welcome back. Good evening to you over in Lakeland, Florida, as always. Good stuff. Tim is here as well, mate. Thanks for jumping on, Tim. Good to see you as always. So, team, just a quick one before we get started into today's topic. Listen, if you haven't heard, I'm sure you have, but if you haven't and you haven't got your ticket, the Property Summit is coming up and there's only a few weeks left. So not too late to get your ticket. Property Summit is here. It's coming June 13th to the 15th. Make sure you grab your ticket. If you haven't got your ticket, it's all okay. There is time. Reach out to your coach if you're part of the mentoring group, and they will absolutely help you out. If you're part of the general public, that's okay. I'm going to drop a link in the chat. But hey, if you don't know what the Property Summit is about, it's about the Australian market. You've got a headline of acts coming your way hosted by Jason Witten. There'll be a few other special guests as well. And it's surely not an event to be missed if you're an investor looking to, move forward in your journey and hang out with like-minded people. So, hey, I'm going to play a little snippet of what that Property Summit looked like in 2024 and give you guys a bit of a taste of 2025. and then we'll get straight into it, team. Back in a sec.
All right, this is going to be fun. Who has played the property game before? Who has been in the game? Who's never played the property game before? Oh, you're in for a treat. Who likes Monopoly? Did anyone like Monopoly when they were a kid? Well, this is Monopoly in real life in this room. Every hour or so, you guys are going to be up and you're going to be running around the room like maniacs trying to play the property game and win the property game.
Today, I wanted to share the lessons, the mistakes, and the wins.
I want everybody to put up their hands who knows their interest rates on all their loans right now.
If you haven't seen me around before, like 13 years in the industry, in property management specifically.
Who likes paying tax? If you need help finding somewhere to donate, I'm sure I can find somewhere else where it can go.
No, we've got an expression in that, let's go and make new mistakes in the world. Who wants to make new mistakes?
These are just strategic moves that can make such a big difference.
So obviously buy well, never sell. Definitely the majority of what everyone's looking to do is collect some A-grade assets, B-grade assets, whatever it might be.
I loved the idea of being a property investor and developing that identity.
Collectively, they have way more years experience in everything that you think you're trying to solve. Because they do it every single day.
There you go, team. Bit of a snippet on that one. Let's go make new mistakes, as Mr. Fenton says. But this morning, we're going to get on with it, team. How to go above and beyond achieving market rent. Get this question all the time. Hey, I've got market rent. What other strategies have you got for me? How can I increase my revenue, increase my return on investment? And I thought we'd bring someone along today and we'll have a bit of a chat about it. So I'm going to try and share my screen in a minute. Courtney's here. Hey, Courtney. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for jumping on. And provided I get my tech right, team, you should see some slides come up on your screen any second. Any second now. It's not working, is it? There it is. All right, we got there in the end. There you go, team. So, team, I thought I'd just, I'm going to give you about a 3-minute context overview on what we're going to talk about today, and then I'm going to bring our guest along to chat about maybe 2 or 3 tips on how to maximize your return, your revenue when you hit market rent. So if you don't already know, Pallara is a suburb in Brisbane. Now this suburb here, located down here, this is about 20 k's from Brisbane CBD. And about, 5-6 years ago, you guys might remember, and let me know in the chat if that was one of you, you might have purchased a house and land package in Pallara. And what was interesting is, looking at its growth and its performance over the last 5 years and why this is important to today's conversation. So you might have bought a house and land package, 4-bed, 2-bath on a block of land. Maybe it was anywhere between 320 to 420 square meters. And hopefully you guys are sitting there with that still in your portfolio today. The average property price now today in Pallara sits at around 966,000 and a half. If you try to buy a property in Pallara today. Now that's just the average. You'll see here in this component 2020, 2021, where I think a lot of our investor clients had jumped in around this point here. And you'll see it's sort of sitting just over that 500. So you could buy basically a house and land package on 400 square meters for about $550,000 back in about 2020, maybe a little bit before that. COVID came along. We all know how that went for about 2 years. But what's significant since then has been the uplift in property prices. Now, certainly if you've got a high spec home, you can certainly see value up over the mil 50, even to the 1.1. Now, this is just an example of a property 2 months ago internally. A property had sold down on 30 Nando Street, 371 square meters, and it sold for $900,000 on the dot. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a typical floor plan, 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage, second living space there for the family. And well presented, great result. My understanding is that that's moved in the market quite quickly. And In this particular case, the property was purchased for this one. I think it was about $570,000 at the time. And so they have had a significant uplift of about 350 plus K, if my math is right, somewhere around there anyway. So winning, right? Winning. Everything's good. Everything's good. Now we sell strategically after you chat with your advising team, of course. But in this case, this property was moved on out of the portfolio. I'm sure they've reinvested in something else. So some great stuff happening in Pallara at the moment. Now, when we talk about rents, where are they now? Why do they sit at the level that they sit? Maybe there was significant growth between 2022 and 2023, and now we're finding a bit of a plateau. Potentially, a lot of the commentary that we're gaining at the moment. Now, what I just wanted to show you guys was the average weekly family income in Pallara right now, and we can do this for any suburb, right? Depending on where your investment properties are located, sits just over $2,200 per week. Now, for property managers and for you as the landlord, we have generally worked on an income to rent ratio of 30%. 30% of your income towards your rent seems like a suitable and affordable measurement for us moving forward to determine whether people can sustain the rent. Now, that would then lead us to a spot here where, and if you do the math, it's pretty much on point. The average rent for a home in Pallara right now is just sitting at $686, just under that $700 mark. Again, you'll see from 2021, 22 up, significant rent growth. So the first thing I would say is if you haven't had significant rent growth and your property's not sitting around the $700 mark and you own a property in Pallara, hey, maybe you need to do something about it. But listen, this is an exercise that you as a landlord, your property managers can have a look at with you and review on any of your investment properties in whatever location it may be. I'm just using Pallara as an example today because there's a pretty good result. So again, average rent, $686. We can put a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car home in Pallara right now for $710. So that's kind of where the market sits at the moment. And that's what our investor clients can expect, give or take. And I guess the conversation is like, well, hey, listen, I'm getting $710 per week. What else can I do? How can I maximize? How can I squeeze the lemon, so to speak? And that kind of leads me to that question, what can I do to maximize my return further? And by popular demand, I'm bringing back one of my colleagues. I'll bring him in here. Dean, hopefully you guys can see that on screen. Let me just change that. Dean, welcome along. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone wanted you to come back, mate, share some more results. So, mate, I just thought we'd get into this, and I know you've got some content you want to share over the next 5 or so minutes. But do you want to just give everyone a 30, 40-second rundown on who you are, what you do within the collective team, if they haven't already met you?
Yep. So, team, my name is Dean Offering. I work closely with Cass. I'm actually the investor relationship manager for our property management team, making sure your property is protected, but also maximizing on your rent, which is what we're going to get into shortly. But yeah, that's pretty much my role in the team.
What you said, squeeze all the juice. Tim, can you see the slides? It might be a bit blurry, I think, Courtney's saying. So sorry about that if they're a bit blurry. I'm not too sure what's going on. Maybe it's probably me. It usually is with the tech, but yeah, I'll keep an eye on that, Courtney. But let me know in the chat team if you can't see the slides. I will try to do my best to figure out what's going on with that. Tim's jumping in here as well. He might have one tip already, so we'll come back to that, which is awesome. So let's get into it, Dean. I'm going to let you take over and talk to everyone about one of the examples of what you found.
Yeah,
how to maximize your rent above market.
Yeah, perfect. So look, something we're going to go and get into today is pretty much like a case study as well. This is actually a client of mine, actually quite recently. But we're going to talk about the property and what we found. So look, short story, pretty much I have an owner who's lived in Pallara. They built in Pallara as well, 2020, 2021. They decided they wanted to move to the CBD. And with that, they've lived in that property for the last 3 to 4 years. And what you found, and if you can see the slide here, they've done some upgrades, which I found would increase the value of their property in the rental market. And we'll get into some examples. Such as, first of all, Tesla car charger or electric car charger. They had that upgraded, which is actually quite attractive for professional couples or even applicants who have a Tesla car themselves or electric car. It's quite convenient for them as well. Number 2, for your professionals or people that work from home, They had LAN connections installed throughout the property, predominantly in the office room, media room, and the master bedroom as well. And in return, that's attracted a lot of professionals in that high demographic as well. And thirdly, we had the 11.4 kilowatt solar system they had installed. What you find is for tenants, it's quite attractive to have anything that can reduce, paying for their property, and that includes electricity as well. So if you're able to get those bills reduced, it's quite attractive to the market. And look, fourth, look, we just have other like small upgrades, which is still nice to, attract other tenants, such as, extra thermal insulation in the bedrooms, as well as tinted windows, even soundproofing in that media or office space, which, like I said, attracts a lot of the professionals. If they want their own office space, it's quite well. And then there's also convenience, such as, security cameras around the property, which they also had a monitor as well to review the video footage, as well as smart lights, garage door, and air conditioning, all in the one app. So it added comfort and convenience for the property and for the tenants. I didn't add it on the slide as well, but this property also had a garden shed that they had in the backyard as well.
Storage.
A lot of extra storage. Things like this is quite attractive to tenants. In return, that can push your rent to a higher bracket. And
I think if we go, having solar is a huge one, team. So if you're thinking about it, there's a lot of rebates from the government. So take their money.
Take it. And look, here's the photos of the property. There's the office there, as well as the backyard. You can see the garden shed, but it's presenting quite nice. They also had two media rooms. So
internally, it's not necessarily a high spec home, but the added upgrades have made the biggest difference. Yeah,
100%. And look, here's the three things we actually found that help us increase that rent. Because, you can do something on your end as an owner or as an investor owner, but it also comes down to what your agent is doing as well to ensure that this is being pushed out. So number one, we have description, and that's just making sure, getting basic, making sure it's quite clear. As you can see on the right-hand side, that's the description we use for that property. And you can see that's whatever's highlighted is actually the upgrades we have there. We just want to ensure that all the upgrades in that property are listed. And we want to make sure that it's all categorized as well, so that it's easy for tenants to actually relate to and actually read through. And in return, it creates less friction for them, and it helps us qualify tenants quicker as well. And that brings us to the number two. We found that the marketing collateral is quite important as well. As you saw on the other slide, we had those images of the properties, and those were professional photos that we had with the DSLR camera. And what we found is it's more attractive for that high demographic of tenants that want to pay that amount of rent. And in return, we've had these people want to attend the property. But look, not just professional photos we have. There's also, you can add additional virtual furniture staging in the photos, just so tenants can actually see what it could look like if they had their particular, furniture in those rooms as such. And thirdly, we had the virtual tours, which we found, or Cass and I found, that it's quite strong to have in the rental market. What we found is having a virtual tour pretty much shows the property as is as well. If you're a tenant and you're looking for a property, if you're even looking to buy a property, it's always good to see the property as is, even before seeing the property in person. And what we found that it removes friction in the search process. And in return, we found that it's qualified tenants quicker, and whoever is attending to the inspection in person, are looking to rent it for sure. And look, we found that this actually lowered our days on market as well. And look, it brings us to our final, and I feel that this is the strongest, tip for making sure you can increase the rent on this, is calling your tenants down to the basics, picking up that phone. And what we found was when you're in a higher demographic, there's a less amount of tenants that are searching in that space. So look, if we're calling these tenants and making sure we can find a suitable time to meet them at the property, make it convenient for them, we're making sure that we're not missing out on an extra application or even extra people looking at the property. And look, what we're also doing as well, as we have some, if you're an agent, you might have some properties already in the area already on the rental market. We just want to make sure that we can engage with these tenants and let them know about the property. And also, while you have them on the phone, just list these upgrades. Just talk about those upgrades to these tenants, get them excited, create some urgency, And what we found was, actually, fun fact, this tenant that actually rented the property, they came from another property in Pallara that was at a lower rent as well, which is quite great. So we found that, look, prospecting your tenants is quite important. And look, here's the results we had from the next slide. What you found was, look, we rented the property in 8 days and got it rented for $850 per week, which is $170 above the market rent. Now, originally, when I spoke to this owner, we were looking between $800 to $850 per week. However, I said, look, let's just test the market and go for $850. And in return, we've had a great result for this owner. And as you can see there, Cass, what's your thoughts? Quite a bit of extra cash flow there.
Oh, mate, I don't know. If someone told me I can earn an extra $8,800, I'd have a look at it. That's for sure. So, team, I know we're going a minute or two over, so apologies. But, yeah, some really important stuff Dean shared today. I think going back to this slide, calling, engaging. You need to understand your property manager's strategy and activity when it comes to, how they go about finding a tenant. So you get a result with that picture, like the picture on your screen, right? There's a line up out the door, which is quite common, out there in the marketplace at the moment. So there's some good stuff there. Listen, team, I've dropped my email just below there across the ticker. And if there's any questions, or if you want to find out more about, how Dean's gone about this and how maybe he can, help review that in your portfolio, then I'll tell you what, flick me a message and we'll get him on it. That's for sure. I'm sure he'll be happy to help. And I can see a few things in the chat. Tim sort of says great tips, nice results. And to Courtney's point, visualizing yourself is with furniture is actually really powerful. So, hey team, if you listen, it's all about getting that result, thinking outside the square, doing what you can to, try and maximize that result. So team, we've gone over. We're going to get off your screen. We're going to let you get on with your day. For a Wednesday, it's Wealth Coffee Chats, property management, done and dusted. Don't forget, 8:10 tomorrow. Tune in. The financial planning team will be on. Thanks, team. See you soon.
Thanks, team.
Thanks for watching another episode of Wealth Coffee Chat, folks. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you never miss a thing when we go live. Portfolio and investing game, folks, with Wealth Coffee Chats live every morning at 8:10 each weekday. Make sure you join us. Previous episodes are also available wherever you get your podcasts, folks, as well as our other podcasts from the 6-Star team here at positivementor.com.au.